Good evening, ladies and germs. I'm about to bring you some things that you might or might not know. My name is Lieutenant Six Gun, if you haven't noticed. I'm in full regalia. I'm about to show you some pistols that you might just think, he's got that, or, oh, gross, one of those. I... What is it? Not everybody has the money for a $7,000-8,000 handgun. Everybody's probably already noticed that everything is jumping like hopscotch. Okay, well, I have found that a mid $300 to a low $400 gun will get the job done without breaking the bank. And you can have a decent firearm as long as you don't mind to redo this surface at some point. Cerakote, especially in your favorite colors, flat dark earth and black, or OD green and black, something like that. These have all been safety checked prior and before me coming online. Now, if you like the sound of a Glock 19 without an extra $250 to $335, a sound mind would go with one of two options. Two. If you want a gun that's going to be reliable, dependable, and durable, I dare say, if you don't have a Taurus G3 or some version of a Canik, you're missing the boat. Because the Canik 18-round magazine and a 20-round magazine will go into and function into a Taurus. It fully functions. The only thing it does not do is hold back the last round. And those are easier to find than these Taurus 17-round magazines. And, I mean, Canik does have Metgar, but so does Taurus. But I've found that the Canik version of the magazine has a better finish overall than the Taurus version of the Metgar. This is a Metgar for Taurus, and this is a Metgar for Canik. Well, I'm sorry to say, but the Canik beat the triggers, and it beats the overall finish on the handgun and the magazine. But the Taurus G3 is not to be overlooked. You have, if you're a safety kind of person, you have a manual safety. The only thing I don't like about the Taurus G3 is the finish, and that's all Tauruses that have the same finish. It does not matter if it says stainless on it. It is a finish. It is not real stainless. Now, I went and got me a Glock. It's a rarity one too. It's a unicorn of handguns. The Glock 17L Gen 1 Classic. Now you say, what's he doing with that? That's not one of a carryable type, but you can carry this with confidence, because I've done it a number of times, and believe you me, it's a lot easier concealed carrying this, especially at the butt of the grip there, compared to the Taurus. The Taurus sticks out. The Glock, it don't stick out much. Now the Canik is in between. but it's got that great big palm well on there. Another one, I have the I have the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, and for me, I compare it to the Taurus G2C. This is also been safety checked. You do have to do a little bit of finer polishing on the Taurus product and the Canik, and pretty much just about any gun you want to get a hold of, you better have you some sandpaper, some type of gun lube. I use Frog Lube in all my pistols, in all my shotguns, and every other gun. This stuff is hard to beat. The smell is fantastic, and you don't have a bad reaction in your body or on your skin when you have something that's organically made, like the Frog Lube. I used Metalloy for a number of years, still have a lot of Metalloy left, but for some reason it has a bad reaction with my allergies internally compared to what I'm used to. Compared to what I'm used to now, which would be the Frog Lube. I mean, when you got something that smells like wintergreen, and you can, if you needed to, and if you had it in your hands and you got the Frog Lube in your mouth, it's like you're eating blackjack bubblegum, if you know what that is. But on the guns, on the Tauruses, you might want to get you some fingernail polish. A nail lacquer would be the best way to go, because the sights that they have on these, it's kind of hard to see that little white dot, because the ones I have the Glock sights that are already installed, which is the black out back and the one dot in the front. I've had to repaint that. You can barely see it now, but in daylight and low light, that is easier to see. It looks like I have knocked off the top part of my sight paint. Great. Thank you, Professional Salon, whatever they call that. I used to buy it from Salon Perfect. My bad. Salon Perfect. It's gonna hold on your sights a lot more than anything else, including sight paint. Because I've had that glow in the dark stuff that I got from Amazon. It didn't glow unless you left it in the sunlight, or a nice 100-watt bulb in like an hour time frame. In like 15 minutes, the glowing action would go away. And I found that this nail polish that I've been putting on here, I can see it even in low light. So I put it just about on anything and everything I have. As you can tell, that is not glow-in-the-dark paint. That is the Salon Perfect Chartreuse, or what everybody would call it, hunter green. Hunting green, like the vests, the hunter's vests that are so bright that you can see it. They used to have something from Salon Perfect called Traffic Cone, and it was the same orange as your hunter's vest. Well, they have a chartreuse hunter green vest and hats for y'all who like the green. And they both match up to the exact same colors. But yes, if you're in the market and you're a budgeting person, or if you just don't want to spend an obscene amount of money on a gun that could be confiscated if you have to draw and use it to defend your life. Because they will confiscate that thing, and you won't probably ever see it again, because they'll probably wind up burning it or selling it off in police auction. And why would you want to take $1,000 or a $600 pistol and have to defend yourself? You can defend yourself with a lesser quality pistol and still have perfectly good running handgun. This G2C, I smoothed it out. Look at that. Bada bing, huh? That's where you're at the first, first thing. There's no bullets in here. Nothing in there whatsoever. See, you can see inside there. There's nothing in there. But the original, when you get these handguns, this stuff right here is rough. It's like sandpaper rough. But you can do your own thing about smoothing things out. But yeah, take a look at this Taurus G2C. Did you see that? Huh? And the Taurus G3 has the exact same trigger because it's the bigger brother of the Taurus G2C. Which for me brought me back to liking Taurus because of the PT-111 G2 Millennium sucked. The trigger sucked, and by far, especially having a trigger safety lock, was the second worst handgun I ever bought, considering if you've heard about SCCY. Those handguns were junk. Sky Firearms were junk. Saturday Night Special. At least they ran. But yeah, watch this Taurus G2C. Look at this. Look at this. See that? I could care less how far it goes back. But look at this. Now, watch the Taurus G3. The Taurus G3. Now that Taurus G3C, I've heard some issues about that. I'll stick with these two. See how far it goes back? Watch this. And that's my second version. My first version is the one I like the most. I carry these on a regular basis. If I can get my fingers to work. And these guns have all been safety checked. There's no firearm. I mean, unless you're going to have some little bitty elves get in there and magically pop back your slide and put a round in there with you watching or not watching. It's kind of ridiculous that you have to go through all this BS because someone's. So look at this. Full size. Bam. I mean, that's all day 5.5 pound trigger. Maybe 5 pounds to 4.5 pounds. I mean, I haven't tested them, but the Taurus G2C is supposed to be 5.5 pounds. The Taurus G3, the G3C, the GX L, and the G3X are all 5.5 pound triggers. They're all the same thing. Now, this Canik, this is the TP9 SA Mod 2. Why do you have Mod 2? Because the original Mod 1 had a double decocker. See that right there? That's a decocker right there. That square thing, that's a decocker. It takes an awful lot to decock that. There is no way that you're going to decock that without you manually doing it, just like if you was doing it on a 1911 or a Western revolver. But check this out. It's got the same safety piece, the lever right there. It's just a little bit smaller. This thing right here on the G2C was quite a bit of ways out and would stick into the back of your finger if I hadn't did what I did. But this Canik has got the best trigger out of the box. You don't have to do anything with these except for enjoy them. See that? That's got to be at least a 3-pound. Oh, I forgot the coffee. And look how long the barrel is. It ain't no 6.02 inch, but if you got 4 inches and above, you'll have a lot to do with accuracy. Look at this. Watch this. Dude, are you kidding me? Pick up an SA Mod 2. I scored this thing for right around $330 after tax, and that's at my local gun shop. Thank you, Chaffee Outfitters, which I have bought my Caniks from ever since I've been buying them. Oh yeah, that Chaffee Outfitters do not sponsor me. I wish they did. I wish somebody would. Gotta have something. But yeah, this is Lieutenant Six Gun reporting for the operation of the duty of caring, because you care about the people that you're around, whether it be family member or at church, which more than likely you're with family members at church, I hope. But yes, the other thing I would like to address is Taurus. A number of my guns from Smith & Wesson, Canik, and Taurus would be the very lowest I would go for a carry option, because everything else is just uncivilized. The only thing I don't like about Taurus is, for some reason, they hate the PMC bronze hollow point, which from what I understand, most of the military, they use round ball ammo because it's got more penetration. But Glock, come on. The Glocks are at I don't know, $700-800, almost $9. And look at this. Watch this. I thought Taurus was bad. Look at that uptake. But here's the boner part. For some reason, this feels more like a, probably I would say over 7 or 8 pound trigger pull. If you're having to spend Glock money for and having to buy another trigger to stick it in there, you might want to start wising up and asking yourself, am I making a very wisdom-oriented purchase? I know everybody got the Glock fanboy shit. Everybody got the Glock fanboy. Yeah, I'm an adult with you know with a good set of cojones. But as far as texture-wise, Taurus has got it. Canik has got it. Smith & Wesson, that's more like someone carrying a rough brick or a rock. But I mean, I'm glad they went with the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus, because I've got the 1.0, and it ain't. If I would have had to do it over, I probably would have bought something else. Because I tell you what, the Taurus is beating the pants off of the Smith & Wesson. As far as the old Taurus, from the PT-111, yeah, go ahead and buy a Smith & Wesson. But the new Taurus, why are you buying something that costs 3 times as much or 2 times as much, depending on who you buy your firearms from? As far as the Glock, I like it because it's 6 inches. It's still carryable. If you can carry a 6-inch revolver, why not carry one of these? Because you can't carry an AR-15 on your back unless you want the police on top of you, beating you down, or kind of. Well, I've seen 2 instances in my hometown where the guy was carrying an AR-15 or some type of rifle on his back, walking around. Next thing you know, I seen half of the police force in their cars, finding out where he was at, where he's going, and they bum rushed him. Oh, so bad, it was ridiculous. I'm surprised he didn't get his head beat in. But that was 2012. We're now in 2025, about to be in 2026. The date of this. But yeah, if you don't own a Canik, I got the V2, and I did my concealed carry when I went to go do with that one, and I kid you not, I had military grade shooting down packed with it. But yeah, and here's the other cool thing is if you have a Taurus G2C and you buy a Taurus G3, you can slide your slide from your G3 over to your G2C, making that an even more. What the? I'll do something in here. Now, when I told you you could take your slide from your Taurus G3 and slide it on, I heard that the Nazis from YouTube don't want you to show anything like that, so we're gonna do it off camera. And here is your Taurus G3 slide on your Taurus G2C frame. Look at that. Look at that. You're getting out the door, you're getting a lot, probably about 20% more velocity. I mean, that's pretty cool because they take this and rebrand it, calling it the Taurus G3 XL. Well, if you have these, you don't need to buy a G3 XL unless you just feel they need to spend another $300 or $400. Which you could use that $300 or $400 to buy ammunition or more magazines or whatever you want. The only downfall about the Taurus G3 grip and the Taurus G2C slide is they won't go back. Those two won't go together. So you're taking two guns and you're getting a third gun. See, still same. Ain't too bad. If you're into the budget of AR-15s, Bear Creek Arsenal, a buddy of mine had put one together, and he used the Bear Creek Arsenal upper and a very, I think it was Bushmaster lower, and for about $400, I got an entire AR-15 complete with a LPV scope and 3 magazines. And here a while back I took it out, I only had one hiccup, and that was because on AR-15s you're supposed to slap the back of the magazine to make sure everything stays straight, or just to kind of compress the rounds together and make it more reliable compared to an AK-47, which you don't do that on. But yeah, the AR-15, I enjoy shooting it. It's lighter than with my AK-47. Some people might say, what the heck is Bear Creek Arsenal? Well, I hate to tell you, Bear Creek Arsenal is probably right on lines with Taurus, or a little bit of right above that. But I mean, what's not to love? I mean, you got a scope, you got 3 mags, and you got the firearm. What's not to love? I had to install a quick disconnect on here to get the mount of the scope up to my eye with pretty good, darn good eye relief. And I hope to get that thing back out and shoot it some more. It's kind of hard to just stand back and not have any fun, because shooting guns can be very therapeutic. But as I know, I've grown to kind of love them, but there's also an inheritance of danger when you have a firearm, so you better train yourself to put safety at all costs. That means if you're and by all means, if you're out there running around without your chamber being loaded, have some common sense. Your finger is your first safety. Your brain is your overall safety, but negligent discharge of your firearm can get you killed or even put you in jail. More likely wind up dead, because I know things happen in life, but you know, your hearing and your health, especially if you don't want to wind up dead, is should be at the forefront of everything. And if you're buying firearms, at some point, I hope you're buying some armor. I mean, you can't have one without the other. And if you're buying this kind of stuff, you might want to buy some BDU shirts and stuff like that. Because if you're going hunting, even if you're in the later portions of fall, a BDU, old school BDU uniform will do wonders keeping the ticks and the fleas and the chiggers and mosquitoes off you, because it ain't no joke out there no more. Mosquitoes will bite you back, and they'll fight back hard. Especially them tiger mosquitoes. It feels like someone's injecting you with a needle. I mean, BDU uniform just to kind of make you feel a little bit more, you know. Make you feel a little bit more cool, I guess. Not all restrictions. I support our men and women in uniform. Law enforcement, you know, especially the city cops, y'all need to go back to school. But our boys and women in the uniform, I support y'all worldwide. Especially, you know, if you happen to live in the United States, which is the greatest country on the face of this planet. This is Lieutenant Sticksgun signing off.